إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. When they invited me to do this khutbah, there were many subjects, but one of the most important subjects that I have seen not being talked about is the goals of Islam, the goals of Sharia. We can divide the whole of Islam only into three parts. Everything in Islam fits under three parts: al-aqidah, faith; al-akhlaq, ethics; wa-sharia, laws. And every single one of them has a full system behind it. When I say a system, it has goals, it has means, it has processes, etc. Inshallah, if I come again, I will talk to you about the other systems. But today, I will talk about the system of Sharia, of the law. The reason that I decided to bring this subject up, and before I continue, please excuse me, I'm very sick. I was almost going to cancel. So I'm losing my voice. Usually I'm more active than this. Many scholars, when they teach Islam, many sheikhs, when they give the fatwa, they don't look at the goals behind these laws, the goals behind this fatwa. So they tell you stealing is haram, of course. But they tell you that tattoos are haram. You have a permanent tattoo, that is haram. It's not allowed in Islam. Why? Why is that? What is that? What is the sense behind it? This deen is a very logical deen. I have studied philosophy and logic, and I have studied Sharia in details, and there is no contradiction. None at all. It is only in the minds of some scholars who have studied Sharia but did not study logic and philosophy that this contradiction comes into place. But when you sorry for my voice, when you look deeply into the goals of Sharia, then you will see everything fits in this place. Of course, this is a huge subject, but I've decided to give you the summary of it. Again, there is a full system for faith, inshallah. Later on, maybe some other khutbah will talk about it. There is a full system of ethics, and inshallah, in another khutbah we'll talk about it. But today, I will talk about the system of Sharia laws. And I will emphasize on one point. What are the goals of Sharia? What is behind all of this? And the scholars have studied this fully. And we can summarize it that every law, small or major, in Islam fits under three categories. Only. Every single law, from jihad to tattoos to cutting your nails, they all fit together under one system. Everything. And that is the amazing part of this beautiful, logical religion. These three categories are preserving the human existence. That is the first part. That is, scholars call it, the necessities of the world. Without them, humanity will collapse. These are the major ones. And And then the second category of laws fit under needs, meeting the needs of humanity. So the first one is preserving the necessities. The second one is meeting the needs. And the third one is beautifying humanity. Beautifying humanity. I'll try to raise as much as I can. So again, every law, small or major in Islam, fits under only three categories. The first one is preserving humanity. It's called necessities of the world. The second one is meeting the needs of humanity. And this is called al-hajiyat, the needs. The third one is beautifying humanity. The scholars have a very beautiful name for it. It's called at-tahsinat, beautifying. So let's go through them quickly. The first category is the necessities, al-darurat. And under al-darurat, there are 5 major necessities. If we don't preserve them, humanity will collapse. Humanity will destroy itself. Or humanity will live miserably if these necessities are not met, are not preserved. And the first one is the soul. We differentiate ourselves from other creatures by the soul that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have blown into Adam. He has blown his soul into it. So this soul that we don't understand and nobody can understand can be turned into laws by setting a religion that teaches us how do we live internally in peace. How do we live internally in peace? And that is a goal. It is not the goal of Islam that humans live comfortably in the materialistic sense. You have a peaceful house, a beautiful car, beautiful streets, etc. That will not make you happy. To be happy, you must be happy from within. And to be happy from within, you must preserve the soul. So here comes hundreds of laws to preserve the soul. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made it obligatory on us that we pray 5 times a day, otherwise we will be lost in this materialistic life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have asked us or ordered us to read the Quran or mention Him subhanahu. Ala bi dhikrillah tatma'innul qulub. By the mentioning of His name, your hearts will be settled. It cannot be settled without that. One of the great scholars of Islam, Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, he says, "Inna fil qalbi la wahsha." Human soul or human heart or emotions has loneliness within it. "Inna fil qalbi la wahsha la yamla'a illa al-uns billah." It cannot be filled. This loneliness cannot be filled no matter what you do, except by being with Allah. And that is why you see when I was in the United States for 17 years, I lived in dorms, I lived in other places. I've seen my American teenagers when I was in high school there and then in the university. They have a lot of parties, a lot of fun. What happens the next day? They will get 2 things immediately the next day: a hangover and loneliness. So they must be busy, keeping themselves busy, so as not to think of what to do to stop this loneliness. So they run from one place to another, from one game to another, etc. We don't need that. We'll settle from within, because Islam has preserved the soul for us. So a lot of laws come here. the laws that are related to fasting, to Hajj, to Umrah, to Quran, to Salah. What people call religion. But see, in Islam, religion is not only that. And that's why I hate to call it religion. See, maybe in Christianity or other religions, that religion deals with worship and the soul. While Islam, although it is a religion, but it does not stop at worship and the soul. There's so many other things. So I prefer to call it preserving the soul. So that is the first part of the necessities. Remember, we're talking about the first category, and that is preserving the human existence, humanity, making it happen. First one is preserving the soul. The second one is preserving the body, your body. And Islam has a philosophy in dealing with our bodies. It's a very, very special philosophy. Unfortunately, most people have not been told that, although it's a major philosophy. Who owns your body? Who owns your body? Is it you? And the answer in Islam is no. It is not you. You are entrusted with this body by God. He created this body. He gave you the ability to manage this body, but you don't own it. You are entrusted with it. So if I trust you with my car, you don't own the car. You can use it, but you cannot destroy it, for example. So immediately, hundreds of laws come under this. And the first one is, those who commit suicide will be punished by permanent hell unless Allah forgives them. So, huge warning. Why? You took my car and you destroyed the whole thing. It's not yours. It's not up to you to destroy it, because you don't own it. When you understand the philosophy behind it, then you know why the law comes into place. And that is why tattoos are haram, are not lawful. Why? Because you played with it without the permission of the owner. And he said, no, you cannot play with it. You cannot take a knife and cut your hand. It's not yours. And you cannot play with the body in any way. And if you get sick, you must get medicine. He ordered you that, etc., etc., etc. There are hundreds of laws to preserve this body. And just imagine, I mean, if we let people think that they own their bodies, so suicide will be up to them. And that is why abortion is haram also. Because when a woman gets pregnant, unless it is a danger to her life, she cannot have abortion. Because again, it's not hers. She does not own her body. She does not own the body of her embryo. It's a very clear philosophy in Islam. And again, hundreds of laws come under that. The third category, the third part of the first category, is preserving the human mind. Preserving the mind. Again, under this, so many laws come into place. You may not drink alcohol because it will make you stop using your brain. And then again, it is not up to you to stop using it. You're entrusted with it. You may not use it except with the will of the owner. And the owner is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not you. And that is why all kinds of drugs that you take is haram, unless it is a necessity to preserve the whole body. And within that also comes the other side of the picture, and that is glorifying knowledge and science and scholars. They are very glorified in Islam. Why? Again, it's a major part of Islam, to preserve the mind. So again, there are hundreds of laws under that. It's a very difficult subject to deal with in a khutbah. But I'm trying to give you a glimpse. So we are under the first category, and that is preservation of the of humanity, the necessities. And we talked about preserving the soul, preserving the body, and preserving the mind. The fourth part is preserving family structure. The family structure. Without the family structure, humanity will go astray. And a lot of ethics will be destroyed because of that. A family is so important in Islam that Islam considers the family structure a necessity to the existence of humanity. And that is why homosexuality is not allowed. And that is why you cannot play with marriage. Unfortunately, many scholars now play with marriage. Marriage is to establish a family. I've seen some scholars who say those who would like to get married in secret, etc., and they don't tell their wives. What kind of game are these people playing? This is a game. This goes directly against the goals of Islam, and the goals, remember this, the goals are more important than the laws. So you cannot play with it. You have to preserve the family structure. And that is why hundreds of laws come into place. Laws of marriage, laws of divorce, etc., etc. There are hundreds of laws. Laws of relationships between families, parents, etc. It's a family structure. Without it, humanity will go astray. And you can see that in societies that have done bad and destroyed their family structure. The last part of the necessities is preserving your wealth. Money, wealth. And wealth is really more than money. It is whatever you own. And Islam is very, very clear on this. And this is in the Quran. وَأَنْفِقُوا مِنْ مَالِ اللَّهِ الَّذِي آتَاكُمْ. Spend out of the wealth of Allah that He has entrusted you with. This is very clear. So, who owns your wealth? It is not you. You are entrusted with this wealth. Allah could have made you so poor and took all of this wealth from you. And that's why you cannot play with this wealth. You have to use it. You have to gain it from a lawful source, and you have to spend it in a lawful source. It's not up to you to play with it. You cannot take 1 dinar from your pocket and burn it. Besides being stupid, it is haram. It's very clear. Islam is very clear on this. It is not yours. It is ma'alullah alladhi ata. It's the wealth of Allah that He has entrusted you with. And that is why the hadith says that on the day of judgment, no one will go to hell or heaven without being asked several questions. One of these questions, وَمَا مِنْ أَيْنَ اكْتَسَبَ وَفِيمَ أَنْفَقَ. You shall be asked on each single filth. Where did you get it from, and where did you spend it? It's a very clear system. And then again, under the wealth system comes a lot of laws. Hundreds, if not thousands of laws. We're talking all the laws of zakah, all the laws of sadaqah, all the laws of starting waqf foundations, all the laws of riba, interest. They all fit under that. And the laws of inheritance also. And this is one of the goals of Islam in the wealth system. That wealth should not be accumulated in one hand. So when you die, it is not up to you to give your wealth to one of your children, or to a wife, or to an animal, like some people do. It's not up to you. Because it is the goal of Islam to distribute wealth continuously. So to make it a balance, Allah gave you the authority to use 1/3 of your inheritance and decide where it does it. But 2/3 is not up to you. It's a system. So it's a very clear system that preserves the 5 essentials of humanity. So this is the first part, the first category. and that is preserving the necessities. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. وأصلي وأسلم على خير خلق الله وخاتم رسل الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Continuing with the laws of Sharia, the goals of the laws of Sharia. And remember, again, this whole thing is only one part of our deen. Our deen, remember, 3 points: faith, ethics, and laws. We're talking only about the laws. But before I continue, let me emphasize a major system that governs everything. Again, Islam has aqidah, faith, it has ethics, akhlaq, and it has sharia, laws. In this order, it is ordered. So faith comes first, ethics comes second, and laws come third. Which means that if a law that some of our scholars might interpret, but it is very clear that it is against a higher authority, like ethics or faith, then the law does not stand. Again, it is ordered. The highest is faith. Next is ethics. And the third is Sharia laws. One of them, marriages, that some scholars said it is okay, it is fine, it is halal, is what they call a weekend marriage. Again, it's all games that they play with our deen. There's nothing called weekend marriage, or jihad marriage, or whatever. These are games. So, what is marriage? Marriage is when you have a husband that agrees on the marriage, and a wife that agrees on the marriage. And then you have a dowry that must be given. You have witnesses. And in most schools of Islam, except the Hanafi, the parent must agree. So if somebody goes and does all of that secretly, so he gets married to a wife that she agrees, he agrees, and there are witnesses, there is a dowry, her parents accept, etc. So from Sharia point of view, it is haram. But this person has done this secretly from his wife, his first wife. Then what will happen? You will destroy ethics. You will cheat. He has to lie sometimes. And what will happen if his first wife knows about this? What happened about it? What will happen? What will happen to the relationships? What will happen to the family structure? It will be destroyed. So let me summarize here that this secret marriage, although it has all the conditions of Sharia, it is still haram because it contradicts with a higher issue, and that is ethics. This way, nobody plays with our team. Unfortunately, there's a lot of games played. Our beautiful Islam has been hijacked by terrorists on one side, and the people look at us from these people point of view, and they consider us part of Bin Laden group, etc. These people are criminals. These people are criminals. Criminals to society, criminals to countries, and criminals to Islam itself, because they destroy the image of Islam. So it's very, very important that we set the laws right. You cannot set a law that contradicts with faith. You cannot accept a law that contradicts with ethics. Otherwise, you'll do the huge mistake that most scholars do, and that is, this is halal and this is haram. And when you ask them why, they say, don't ask them. Come on. We have brains. I mean, some people might accept accept that they don't use their brains, but I will not accept not to use my brain. You have to convince me what is behind it. And I assure you, brothers and sisters, I assure you, after studying Islam so deeply and writing more than 50 books on it, that every single law, major or small, has a reason and a goal behind it. Let me finish by talking about the other two categories. So the first category is preserving necessities. The second category is meeting the needs, al-hajiyat. So humanity, for example, when life was very simple, they traded. So if you need a sheep, you give me 20 ducks, I'll give you a sheep. And if you need a door, then give me 10 chicken, and I'll give you. But this will be, I mean, if you continue with that, humanity cannot survive. This is a major need, and that is why humanity created money, created wealth, money. So wealth is, again, more than money, but humanity has created money. And Islam approved of this system because it's a need. It's a need of society. But because it is a major need, you cannot play with it. You cannot play with it. You cannot float the currency. So your currency, you don't really know how much it's worth. That's a game they play to destroy countries, destroy others. You cannot play with that. Islam had made it very, very clear that money has a reference to measure it, and that is gold and silver only. Only gold and silver. You cannot evaluate the money by the GDP of the country, etc. Because you can play with that. Many people have lost their wealth because of that. While if it is measured by gold and silver, then you can play with it. And by the way, this is a major, major theory coming into the West today. So, yes, people have not used that for a long time. Now they are coming back to it because they saw that without a reference, you will destroy the wealth of people. So, whatever is a need, we must meet it. And the Islamic law on this is very clear. Your life can be divided into two parts. Worship, ibadat, and dealings, muamalat. So worship. How do you pray? How do you make wudu? How do you fast, etc.? This is set by God. It is not up to you to play with it. So if somebody comes and prays Maghrib 7 rak'ahs, although they have done more sujood and more Quran and more mentioning of Allah, their prayers is not accepted. And the reason behind it is very simple. Inshallah later on, if I come back, talk about faith, then we will understand it more deeply. But quickly now. If you want to worship a God that you believed He exists. Now, who decides how to worship Him? Is it you or Him? So if you decide, no, it's me, then who is the God? You appointed yourself as God. You decided that you will worship God in the way you wish, not the way He wishes. And you have destroyed the whole system of worship. So again, this needs a full talk. But let's go to the other part, and that is dealings. And here we're talking about the political system, the economical system, the judiciary system, the monetary system, etc. These are dealings. These are not direct worship. Although, if you have a good intention, you can turn them into worship. But the whole idea here is to preserve the needs. And that is why a major scholar like Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, the student of Ibn Taymiyyah, says the following: أينما كانت المصلحة فثم دين الله. Wherever the needs of humanity are there you will find the religion of God. Okay? Think about it. In matters of worship, you have no choice. Otherwise, you have appointed yourself as a God. In matters of dealings, you must think, look for the wisdom, look for the reason, and maybe change the laws. Because people's needs have changed. And that is the summary of what Ibn Qayyim has said. And that is, whenever a need is met, then there is the religion of God. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want us to live in hardship. ما جعل لكم في الدين من حرج. It is not the goal of God to make you suffer. That is not the goal. The goal of Islam is to make you happy in this life and in the hereafter. So some kind of deal that some of our scholars who have not looked deeply will say this is haram and they will destroy a need or stop a need. Then we must look at their understanding of Islam. See, one of the great major scholars is Ahmad ibn Muhammad. A man came to him and he asked for a fatwa, a ruling on a certain issue. And Imam Ahmad gave him the fatwa. So the face of this man changed. So Imam Ahmad asked him, لعلي شققت عليك. Did I make your life hard? He said, yes. This fatwa that you gave me will make my heart, will make me live in hardship. He said, go to the following scholar. He gives a different fatwa. Allah, Allah. Just imagine our scholars today, when they speak, this is religion, anything else is not. Islam does not want us to live in hardship. Islam wants to ease life for us in this life and in the hereafter. Finally, the third category is beautifying humanity. And under beautifying humanity comes two major systems. Ethics come again into the picture. You see the importance of ethics. You cannot be beautiful no matter how nice you look, or how nice you dress, or how nice you smell, if you steal public money, and if you deal in injustice with your employees. So ethics, without it, there is no beauty. So that is the internal beauty. And again, inshallah, I will talk about the system of ethics some other time. The other side is beautifying the outside. And under this comes so many laws. For example, you must cut your nails maximum every 40 days. Just imagine, I've seen on Guinness, a man who has left his nails grow for 14 years. Just imagine how he looks. And they are crooked and all over the place, etc. It's ugly. It's ugly. It's not up to you. It's ugly. And when humanity deviates from the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then humanity will become ugly. It is for the beauty of humanity that these laws come into place. And that is the laws of wudu, and the laws of showers, and the laws of cleaning, etc. And the laws of how to dress. For men and women, by the way. It is not only women. It is also men must dress in a certain modest way. And it goes on and on and on. Again, my goal in this khutbah is just to open the doors for you. That whatever you hear, whatever you read, out of the laws of Islam, they have goals. They are not there just because. This is not used in Islam. Just because. I was once in a discussion with a priest, and I discussed logically. So we reached a point where he said, my friend, it is not a matter of logic. It's a matter of faith. So I said, sir, your message to me is don't use your brain. That is the message. Don't use your brain. While Islam emphasizes use your brain. And every issue, even in the existence of God, use your brain. And if you study well or have a good mentor, you will not go astray. I hope that I have opened the doors for more discussions and deeper look into what Islam is all about. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وألهمنا رشدنا. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين. اللهم طهر قلوبنا من النفاق. اللهم طهر أعمالنا من الرياء. اللهم طهر ألسنتنا من الكذب. اللهم طهر أعيننا من الخيانة فإنك تعلم خائنة الأعين وما تخفي الصدور. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم انصر المجاهدين في كل مكان. اللهم انصرهم في سوريا. اللهم اجعل عاقبة الأمور في مصر إلى خير. اللهم احفظ بلادنا وبلاد المسلمين. اللهم ردنا جميعا إليك ردا جميلا واجعلنا ممن يعبدونك كما تريد. سبحانك سبحانك ما أعظم شانك. لا إله إلا أنت. وأصلي وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. Before I leave, inshallah, after when you leave, there is a Rahma Society who is collecting donations to the needy families in Palestine, in Africa, in Asia, and Middle East. And they are very, very well managed. They got the #1 transparency certificate in the whole of the Middle East. So I encourage you to donate to the Department of Islam.